Hi, welcome to my channel. And I'm struggling to find something to say. Just hold on, give me a sec. So I've always have so many ideas and internal monologues that sometimes they keep me up at night. But I also have crippling stage fright. So this is the slightly better version of that, where I'm in my bed, covered in layers of blankets for noise cancellation. As of the time I'm releasing this video, the world has set itself on fire. Luckily, I'm living in a country that is still relatively peaceful for now. Although there's some oil and gas price increases and gold price increase, come to think of it, my internet bill and my electricity bill has also increased. But I'm grateful to be here. Vietnam. I'm gonna spend the rest of this video running through a bunch of stereotypes that you may have of Vietnamese. Vietnamese are nail salon workers and owners. While it is true and has started ever since the 70s post the Vietnam War, just so you know, we call it the revolution against the US war, by the way. A lot of immigrants from the South has left the country in search of a capitalist life, and they found it. I heard Vietnamese salon was popularized by a 70s actress named Tippi Hedren, who helped these immigrants in their early days. But overall, Vietnamese can be meticulous and willing to put their backs into hard labor. But that's what the internet says. Can you imagine moving into a new country as an immigrant? Of course you're trying to find other diaspora of your country. And when most of them work in nail salons, you'll likely work there too. I am sure there are Chinese immigrants who live within their communities in Chinatown, making dim sum and noodles, being dojos in kung fu classes, and sell courses on how to use chopsticks. You know, everyone has their niche. The Viets have mastered manicure arts so much that if you fly out to some isolated Polynesian country, I don't know, Palau, you would still find a Vietnamese nail salon there. Trust me, I checked. But there are so many advantages to sticking with your community. If you overlook the fact that you sometimes become the target for hate crimes, you never have to learn a new language. The restaurants near you sells familiar food. You understand when your customers are cussing behind your back. And if your child isn't into studying, they can be the employee at your local pho shop. Speaking of studying, the second generation of Vietnamese and other Asians are pressured by every relative to perform their best at school. Something along the lines of, "Did you think I'd travel half the world and get called Ching Chong for you to get a B at school? You're not just disappointing me, but all of your ancestors." Sorry, Mom. "Don't speak to me until you get an A." Apologies, Mother? So sometimes Vietnamese immigrant children didn't have a choice. They just studied so that their parents would stop scolding them. For some, it got engraved into their brain and that became a part of their identity. For others, they crash out hard. Can you imagine what our pupils look like when they're dilated? Me neither. But all of that social pressure can create traumatic experiences. Not just fitting in, but excelling in a brand new social ladder. One thing I hate about Vietnamese cuisine is how well known pho, banh mi, and spring rolls has become. If you're an expat living in Vietnam, you would know bún bò Huế is the superior and lesser known cousin of pho. Dear Vietnamese diaspora, The world needs more bún bò Huế, and there are so many other dishes. Yes, most of them has something to do with rice and fish sauce.
Well, that's boring to hear.
Does it? I mean, have you even looked at French cuisine? It's just milk stacked on dairy products, mixed with dairy products, under dairy product toppings, with a side of dairy products. Like, seriously, let us have our thing and respect the cultural differences. Of course, there are all the cone hats that either farmers or foreigners really love, and the fact that we rarely look our age. But I want to guide your attention to our street crossing skills. Yes. Stop moaning about how motorbikes crossing intersections 3 seconds before the red light ends, and all the motorbikes that runs on the sidewalk during rush hours. If you look at our population density and how small the streets are, it would all make sense to you. I'll put it this way. You don't need a PhD to understand fluid dynamics intuitively. Like swim in a school of fish, or fly in a flock of birds, or better yet, drive next to a bunch of Vietnamese people who are smashing their horns because you're blocking the way. We Vietnamese people have perfected horde mentality, and you should try it too. If you are renting a motorbike in Vietnam, just stay half a meter away from other vehicles. If you are strolling across the street, you don't need a zebra-striped line. Cross whenever you need. But remember, progress slowly or stop if the vehicle doesn't seem like they're allowing you forward. Moving back or rushing forward unpredictably means you both have a higher chance of getting hospitalized. Oh, and only 40% of Vietnamese possess the family name Nguyen, okay? But that deserves an entirely different video by itself. By the way, this introduction video is completely just my thoughts meandering through this topic. I associate myself as more of a world citizen, so I'll try not to bring up the word Vietnam every 2 sentences in the next video. See you in the next one! Oh, and remember to like and comment and subscribe. That felt kind of weird. I'm new at this.